Once the cylinder lock is removed, disconnect from the other end the electricals that is used for the starting of the car. And as you can see, this is where the cylinder lock locks the steering wheel. I have prepared the wire for the ignition switches, and on the other end you can see the starter kill for the immobilizer. Depending on the brand of push to start you're using, typically they will have 6 wires, and they're all pretty much the same. As you can see here, I have soldered them directly to the wiring. So now that I've identified which lines are which, I have and soldered little wire connectors to it, so that if in case in the future I want to go back to a keyed access, all I have to do is take out the connectors and everything's still in place. Instructions weren't clear on the installation instructions, so we'll clarify which cables and which wires goes with which. So now let me clarify which cables are which. So once the main line is where I connected the red wire, is the main line. The one with the black and white wire is the accessory line. The yellow is the ignition 1 connector. And then right there on the bottom where the black and yellow is ignition 2, right there. And then the one right in the middle where it's I think it's black in between the yellow and black and yellow wire is the starter car connector. That's where I connected the white cable. And finally, you have to connect a wire to the brake cable. So this is where it is, and just identify which gives it power. Now we have the main electronics connected. Just make sure that all the wires are properly connected, and we will be testing them prior to final installation. So this particular one has an RFID reader, so just make sure that's connected as well. This is how I solved the problem with the immobilizer. So I took the immobilizer unit out of the lock cylinder. I zip tied a transponder key into the immobilizer, and basically what we're going to do is reconnect this back into the steering column along with the connectors, so that, and zip tie it as so. So this is how it's going to end up looking. Now we have the immobilizer in place, and checking on the wires, making sure that they're all connected. It's time to test the system, just to make sure that everything's functional before everything is finalized. So if you have an RFID reader on yours, don't forget to tap that into the reader and then check to see if it cycles out with ACC and then on without pressing the brake pedal. So now that works out. It's always good to make sure that everything's connected properly before doing any further tests. So as indicated, first button pressed without pressing the brake is accessory. Second press is the on position. The third time you press the button without pressing the brake will turn off the system. So once you got that all squared out, now you press on the brake and then press the button once and it will start the car. And basically, if you just want to turn off the car, you just have to step on the brake again, and while stepping on the brake, press the start and stop button and it turns off the engine. So once you got everything up and running, it's best to test the functionality of the button. What it does, what it doesn't do, how to put it in gear, how to lock the shifter in place. So what I figured, that as long as it's on the on position, even though if it's not running, the gear shifter can be shifted. So hopefully this works out. So for you guys, and thanks for watching, and have fun installing this little project.